can start this over.
You can't start this over. We're on TikTok
I
Live.
don't care. Screw you guys. We just figured this out that we wanted to do a video about, I don't know, 10 minutes ago?
Yeah, about 10 minutes
About 10 minutes ago. So, how long have we known each other for?
A minute.
Couple minutes, at least?
Couple minutes.
4 minutes?
Yeah.
You have not always been in this position. She is the tour manager for a band called?
In This Moment.
In This Moment. When I first met you, you were doing, I think, playback.
I was playback and stage manager.
Yeah. And this is a very dynamic show. There's a lot of stuff going on. So stage management for something like this is not like just a rock band that comes in and comes out.
No, it's very theatrical. A lot of prop changes, a lot of set changes, dancers, and all of the stuff.
All of it. All the above. Pyro, cryo, all of it, fog.
Yeah.
Now, I had to do a panel recently with the NAMM Foundation, and they asked me a bunch of questions about how I got into my role, because I used to be a touring guy as well. And one of the questions I got, especially from, it was an all-female college, was about the tour manager position. And immediately you came to mind, and I was hoping that we'd be able to sit down and I can ask you a couple questions, because I don't know how you got to your role. I kind of know, but what did you start off in touring? Was this always what you've done? Did you come out of the womb and just go on tour?
Basically. I started touring at 18 as a guitar tech for like a friend's band, and I was like guitar tech stage manager.
Was it a bus or a van or?
I was an F-250 with a camper shell over our bed in the middle of winter, with a brother and sister in the band and a mom as the tour manager. So.
And an F-250?
An F-250.
That's fantastic.
Yeah.
Okay.
We literally built a platform over the wheel wells in the back and had like a camper shell in the back, put a mattress back there, and took turns sleeping back there. I never went. I was like, I'll stay up, I'll be navigator, because I was too afraid to go in the back.
Jesus. So what was after that?
I came home, I finished up 2 colleges, and then I went back out on tour as a guitar tech, kind of continued on that. First time I went on tour as a tour manager was actually for George Lynch.
Okay.
I was his guitar tech.
Hold up. Well, who cares? We'll pan cameras. Keep going.
I was his guitar tech, and he's like, well, he didn't want to hire me at first. And he's like, can you tour manage? And I was like, I'll figure it out. And I really wasn't a tour manager, but I did stuff. I started learning.
Yeah.
And that was actually my first like big international one. It was like we went to Loud Park in Japan. So that was 2009. And then kind of just floated back and forth. I ran a merch company on Mayhem Fest, Dimebag Darrell's widow, Rita, and did that. Did a lot of like kind of tour manager stuff.
Yeah.
We had our own bus, and had our own booth, and we did that, and started running all of her shows, Ride for Dime, Dime Bash, and then just kind of progressed.
And how'd you get with this band?
So I used to tour manage New Year's Day, who's our support band on this tour, and we did 4 tours opening up for them in 1 year. So the following year, the beginning of 2019, their tour manager, Katie, ended up calling me up, and she was like, hey, we need some help. We're just gonna fly you in for 5 days. We're just gonna get you, like, the tour started, like, we're starting with festivals. And I was like, cool. And then 5 days later, they were like, you're not going home. You're our stage manager. And then it kind of progressed to playback. And then now tour manager.
I think there's a lot of common misconceptions about tour managers. So what would you, how would you describe what a tour manager does?
Full-on chaos coordinator, babysitter, but
This t-shirt.
Yeah, it really is. We call ourselves Team Chaos. That's our vibe. But finance, logistics is the main part of it. I would say I start with a budget and then start with the planning, the routing, hotels, to deal with the travel agent, and then like on tour it's maintaining that, and then also just making sure that the band has what they need on day to day. I'm handling hospitality, catering, buyouts, meals, whatever it is.
What would you say is the biggest misconception about a tour manager?
That it's easy. That we just sit in an office all day, and that we, it's not that it's all just like kind of like moderate paperwork.
Yeah.
And it's definitely not that. I've got a Trello board that keeps me organized. I took like a project management course during the pandemic, and I use that to keep me like on task and just to kind of keep myself organized, because there's a lot of moving parts during the day.
Okay.
First one up, last one up, barely get any sleep, and just, trying to keep everyone happy and safe and the show running.
What do you think separates a good tour manager from a great tour manager?
I would say the level of care, like just genuinely caring about people and like wanting to take care of the people that you're out with. It's mom vibes.
It's been interesting as I've grown this channel, I've had a lot of newer people ask me a lot of questions about how do I get involved, who's hiring, how do I get involved, and who's hiring. And I think I've talked more people out of touring than actually into touring for it, because I think as well as I know, probably you even more since you've continued on with it, and where I hung up my hat with it, is touring can suck. Music is on weekends, concerts on weekends, concerts on holidays, and you're gone for everything, almost. Yeah. As you said before, deaths in the family, marriages. So let me ask you this, not to get too personal, but how do you handle all of that and being on the road and keeping your head straight with everything?
I have a really good support system. I've been doing it for a long time, and thankfully my family's very accepting of it. And then I also have people that I like love and trust on the road, and that kind of keep me sane. And I make sure when I find those people, my wonderful assistant over there, Caroline, when I find those people, I take them with me, because it's really important to like have that like safety net around you. I've had things happen on this tour where I'm just like, oh my gosh, why? Yeah. And there's nothing you can do, and thankfully my mom's like, no, like you can't do anything. We also do 30-second hugs.
Oh, that's a long hug. I love that.
They say that's what you need to get the endorphins. So,
let me ask you this.
Apple Watch and time it out.
Time out your hugs. It's time for a hug. Oh. What advice would you give to people who are watching this that have no experience and they want to get out to be in your shoes? What advice would you give to them?
I would say there's a lot to prepare mentally, but also just start working with like local bands, start getting in with people in the industry, ask if they need help. We always need help. Yeah, we always need help. But I think that get a base knowledge of the whole touring industry, and I think if you're trying to go on a direct path, probably the best idea would be to get in as a TM assistant. So get in with band managers. Okay. Get in with those band managers. They're the ones that can really influence the decision to get you a position on tour. Go to networking events. NAM's a great one. Put yourself out there. Message people, Go on Instagram and say, hey, like, I want to do this. What can I do? Can I help you when I'm in town? Yeah. It's not always possible, but if you beat down enough doors, one's bound to open up, So I know I've had a lot of people reach out to me, and, I would love to have people come in. It's just like, it's a very busy day, but maybe smaller tours, or maybe even bigger tours, where they have more time. They might be able to. But you don't know if you don't ask, so.
Yeah. In the managerial aspect of the name, how much of this involves different people's personalities and working with them, specifically with artists? And we know how easy artists are to deal with, and they're the most calm mind people in the world, but how much of that is involved with your job?
I've had to learn a lot of patience over the years, and just I almost like this, the self-talk
Yeah.
to yourself is like, all right, this is this situation. We're not going to let it like bleed over into my whole mood for the day or whatever it is, because sometimes you just have to be like more understanding of like other people's perspectives and why they might be frustrated and why they may feel like their needs haven't been met or whatever, and just like being able to like calmly talk to them about it and help them get what they're needing done. I think that's huge.
Yeah.
But just like learning to separate like the emotions from the situation. I'm not always capable of doing it. I try, but personalities are a big thing on tour. And it's not just the artists, it's the crew and local.
Yeah.
You know, you can get, sometimes you have local promoter reps that are difficult to deal with, or local crew. The opportunities are endless, really, for bad attitudes. But it's just about trying to like not let it affect everything else and like have a domino effect. Because then if you get in a bad mood, and then you start projecting it out to everyone feels it.
So in a way, you kind of set the tone for everything.
Yeah.
Okay, what is the one piece of equipment that you cannot go without?
Oh, for sure the MacBook. There's so much though. There's so much though. And I'm like, I need the printer, I need the scanner. But this thing runs everything.
Okay.
So that's like the biggest. If this thing crashed on the tour,
Done. So last question. If the people watching want to follow your trajectory and follow you and see where you're going, where can they follow you?
I am on Instagram.
Okay, what's your name?
It's Brutalica.
Brutalica.
Yeah.
Okay.
BREWTALL.
Or come to an In This Moment show near that?
Come to In This Moment show, come to Nothing More show, or I don't know.
Throw resumes on stage.
Yeah. Wherever I find a work, I'll be there. So.
Really, thank you so much for your time. I know you're super busy with all this stuff, so.
Thank you.